Good evening. This is video 9, next to the last entry. Tomorrow we will be completely finished with the convention, and many of us are flying home tomorrow night and the rest of us on Saturday. Today was actually a relatively uneventful day. Courtesy resolutions, things that don't actually involve a lot of controversy, with a couple of exceptions. One of the things that really did cause some discussion and controversy in the House of Deputies was the creation of a new Lesser Feasts and Fasts 2018. What it tries to do is contain and bring together many of the texts in previous Lesser Feast and Fast editions, as well as Great Cloud of Witnesses, Holy Men, and Holy Women, which means some people got in and some people did not. It was passed, but none of us have a clear picture of actually who was or was not included. Just gratitude that somehow we'd be operating on a single book together. So it remains to be seen all of what is contained in terms of past, especially with amendments. The second thing that occurred was the passage of the budget. It passed both houses. There were serious questions raised, particularly about the remunerations offered to Gay Jennings, the president of the House of Deputies. That has always been a controversial move because the argument has been we should be paying the president a regular salary in the same way that we pay the presiding bishop. After all, she travels quite a lot. She has a lot that she has to do for the position. She has her own chancellor. She has people that she consults. But the fact of the matter is that that position has expanded way beyond its original intent. If you look at the canons, it's actually a very, very limited position. So either you have to say that the position is expanded and that's been a mistake, and therefore we need to go back to a more limited view, or what is happening now is in fact appropriate for the present place that the Episcopal Church is in, and therefore the president should be compensated accordingly. Honestly, there are some people who support one position and some people who support another. But at this point, the budget was passed with the inclusion of a remuneration that is appropriate for a very active president of the House of Deputies. But this concern does not seem to want to go away, particularly when this position, salaried as it is coupled with a new phrase which has to do with not president of the House of Deputies and the presiding bishop, but quote-unquote our presiding officers. In essence, putting the president of the House of Deputies and the presiding bishop on par with each other. Something that is quite different because we are an Episcopal-based church than we've known in the past. Stay tuned, but it is in fact an unresolved issue. Something else that came up that really just actually stopped business in House of Bishops was a long-raging controversy around amending supplemental texts. I want to make sure that I'm being clear with you that it is supplemental texts, not the prayer book. The prayer book is remaining intact, but there are a lot of supplemental texts, renovations for Eucharistic Prayer B, and other things that are going on that would be pulled out, kept in the prayer book, but a different version would be put in for supplemental use, subject to the approval of the diocesan bishop. As one of our own people quipped, we saved Jesus and Israel today, meaning that there was language that had taken Israel out of Eucharistic Prayer B and substituted ancestors, as opposed to being clear about our historic relationship with the state of Israel, as well as calling not Jesus son, but child, something that is more gender neutral. Those were changed so that Jesus and Israel are back in Eucharistic Prayer B. But that kind of minutia went on for an extraordinarily long time, which is why House of Bishops stopped, because we have to confirm what's happened in House of Deputies, so we can't do anything until it shows up, which meant we actually wasted quite a lot of time today. But it drove deputies crazy. In fact, I was getting tweets and texts from members of our deputation with clown faces on it and things like that. They were, I'm in crazy land, one of them said, because it is so frustrating. It appears that somehow a gathering of over 1,000 people who can operate under parliamentary procedure is probably the worst venue for doing liturgical revision. But that's where we found ourselves. Probably one of the most poignant things that happened today wasn't actually even on the schedule. The House of Bishops, in the midst of some time that they had on their hands, decided to have a closed session where we just talked to each other and prayed with each other. It was profoundly intimate, supportive, tender, and people shared deeply from the heart. One of the things that really makes House of Bishops quite different from House of Deputies is that because we're smaller and we meet more often, we have that kind of relationship with each other. And quite honestly, it's hard not to feel that you're a part of something important when you have those kinds of gatherings for prayer and for mutual personal support. So that's what happened today. Not anything that was particularly history-making, but continuing to move forward as Convention begins to wind down. I look forward to giving you a recap tomorrow night. Thank you for continuing to tune in, and particularly thank you for praying for us. We have felt it and we need it. Bless you.